Seriously, guys, 62. And here's the thing. It wasn't just against anybody. It was against the Blazers, a really good team. So, Stephen A., what did the performance tell you about him?
Well, it just reminded me that this is the greatest shooter since mankind existed. I've never seen a shooter greater than Steph Curry. I mean, it's off the dribble, it's spot up, it's anywhere on the floor, it's his movement without the basketball, it's catch and shoot, it's taking you off the dribble, it's spotting up. This brother is the greatest shooter we have ever seen, period. And when you take that into consideration and you just tickle your imagination as to when Clay gets back, the Golden State Warriors will be back at the very least in the conference finals because they're just too lethal of marksmen to ignore. I want to put this into consideration. Steph Curry is considered to be struggling. He is averaging 32 points on 45% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three-point range, and that's considered struggling. Oh, by the way, he's shooting 98% from the free throw line. I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This is who he is. The first 10 years of his career, this man has shot better than 40% from three-point range. The first 10 years of his career. We celebrate people who do it once. And this dude did it the first 10 years. He is the greatest shooter man has ever seen. I know it sounds hyperbolic. It's not. It is not an exaggeration. I don't care whether you bring in Bird, whether you bring in Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin. I don't give a damn. There has never been a shooter this great. And when Clay gets back, look the hell out. Golden State is going to be immediately back in championship contention. And by the way, I like that kid Wiseman.
Well, he's clearly the greatest shooter ever. He's a mobile artillery unit because he can go get his own shot, and he invented shooting it from a million miles away, which created even more space. You know, everyone's like, how can you change the NBA? Make it a 4-point shot if it's farther away. So it didn't occur to people, no, it's all right to shoot it from 10 feet behind the arc if you can hit it regularly, which he can, which opens up the whole offense. He revolutionized the game. And by the way, for years, I thought he was not a clutch shooter, Stephen A. I saw it in the playoffs. I don't care what anyone says. You go back and look at the highest leverage moments. I thought, why is Steph not as good here as he normally is? Shooting the ball. Even that started to change. Even that started to change. You know, that started to change. Given enough reps, he's now deadly in the clutch with the ball in his hand. It wasn't always that way. It is now. This is what I was thinking yesterday. This is what I took from the performance. And like a lot of people, I was watching football and keeping track of, God, Steph went for what, 31 at the half? Now he's up to 40-something. Now he's up to 50-something, 62. Stephen A., there have been more athletic point guards than Steph, obviously. Allen Iverson or Russell Westbrook, MVPs who are clearly more gifted athletically overall, right? There have been better two-way point guards than Steph Curry. Chris Paul or Isaiah Thomas, right, or John Stockton. There have been players who've done a lot of what Steph has done. Steve Nash, although Steph is really Nash 2.0 because he doesn't need to monopolize the ball. It doesn't stick with him, and he shoots it even better than Nash. But when I look at the history of the NBA, you take away Magic Johnson, right? Modern NBA, take away Magic, who's 6'8", 6'9". He is a point guard, and he's the greatest ever. But I'm talking about of the regular-sized point guards. Steph's the best who ever did it. He's the greatest of all time. And for all the reasons I just mentioned, ball doesn't stick, unselfish player who can score from anywhere, who makes all his teammates better shooters. And by the way, he's not a good defender because he's not big, he's wiry, he's not so, long, but he plays defense. It's not like he's not there. Go ahead.
Steph Curry the other day in practice, Max, made 105 straight three-pointers. 105.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Straight three-pointers without a miss. Steve Kerr had the joke of the year when he sat up there and said he choked. He didn't get to 106. You understand? 105 straight
anything 105 times in a row.
Can you imagine how motivated he must be having to sit all last year and then Clay goes down. I mean, it's like his back's against the wall, and he's just showing us who he is.
He's motivating the triple
Don't forget
teaming and
also,
trapping them and all of that stuff, but he's special.
yeah.
Trying to get back to normal, that would mean Steph Curry just making tons of buckets, lots of points. Warriors hosting the Blazers, only their second home game. There's Steph, my handle's good, tough layup, got it to go. Okay, we'll look at it again. Flies by Robert Covington. At this point, Curry had 6 points, which ordinarily isn't something that puts you this high up in sports.
Do better.
All right, in front of Dame Lillard. Okay, we're at 9. So, Ken, we're doing math, as you like to say, because we're just adding up. So 9, and we get 2 more there. 3 guys around him, and he somehow gets them all up and makes the bucket. That's 11. Curry, do I hear 14? Comes off the screen. Pure right there. Curry. So we're good from far out. Look at that. We're nice with the finish.
So we're going to show all 85 points he scored.
Well, he didn't have 85, but we may show all of them. We're going to show you. There's 21 in the first quarter. And then at half, he had 32. So he tacked on another 11 in the second 12 minutes. Gets his guy up, hits that. 3 of 7 from 3. So he didn't just go crazy with the 3 ball. 10 of 18 shooting. 31 points at the half. Second half, keep playing him. He's your best guy. Halfway through, midway through the third, Curry gives it to Draymond Green. Okay, so we're not quite our best, but there's Curry with the air ball catch and puts it back up. Might have been a very clever pass.
Michael Cage rebound.
I doubt that, but that's what we'll call it. Curry, crossover 3, step back from a little farther out. Now we got range. That's 40. There's Curry. That's 45 as we close out the third quarter there with his team up by 16. So 13 in the third to make it 45. And then in the fourth, he was really good again. Warriors have trouble handling it. As long as it trickles over there, bounces, Curry just pick it up and make it 3. As always, in case of emergencies, Steph Curry can be used as a flotation device. Like the Bay look.
Mid-range.
There he just waited, got the guy on his back, didn't get the foul, so he goes and makes it. One more time. First player to get 50 this season. Season's young, although I'm not sure there's a bunch of guys that are just going to keep going for 50. But why stop there? We got 2:24 to go. Warriors at 9, Steph at the lightest, 54. So that matches the career high he had against the Knicks. And there we go, more. We had 56. It's another 3. It's 59. And let's close it all out. A night of 18 of 31 shooting, 8 out of 16 from 3. And Steph Curry goes for 62. That's a man's man right there. Warriors 137-122. 62 in front of the home television watching crowd there for Steph by the Bay.
So to repeat, he did not score 85
Not 85.
points. Tied for the
Hello and welcome. Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Derek Fisher. We got Mike Bresnahan over here. We got Allie working from home. We got Trudell working the green room. You'll hear from all the Lakers. They get the win. They're now 3-0 on the road trip, guys. Good balance on offense. 6 guys in double figures. But really, it's the ability to defend that we've seen these last couple games, James and Fish, to defend down the stretch and close out games. 9-0 run that final 2:30 against San Antonio. Tonight, final 4:30, 13-2 run.
Yeah, I think the ability to do that, you don't want to have to depend on turning it on like that, but this team can do that. It was a sluggish start. Memphis come out shooting the lights out, and then the second quarter, the Lakers defense started to, unfold. I think Montrezl Harrell's activity on the offensive boards and Schroeder, his defense, they started to click. And I think in the second half, they showed the dominance. LeBron James, AD, they have 2 closers. And with the collective defensive effort, they did the job they needed to do and to close out the game.
2 quick thoughts. One, I was thinking earlier, when you haven't played a team in a while, typically during the season, you might not play an Eastern Conference team for a whole calendar year, depending on how the calendar goes. With this past year, with COVID and the bubble and the restart, you haven't played against some of these teams in a while. Mm-hmm. And they're having to learn some of the different personnel, new coaches, different style of play. And once they get a handle on the way the team is attacking and playing, that's when the Lakers seem to kind of figure out how to take advantage of the matchup and go ahead and close the game out. The second thought is, when you're the big brother, and you're not even really worried about what little brother get like.
And little brother's coming after you every single night.
You know he can't beat you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you let him get a few punches in, you let him get some licks in, but you know at the end of the day you big brother.
I was going to kind of ask you that because James was talking about, turning it on at the end. That can be dangerous against teams like this. But then again, it's on the road, so you're happy to get the win, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's where the depth throughout the course of the season is going to come into great value for this Lakers team. Alex Caruso out, KCP out. Having guys like Wes Matthews, THT, who's developing and blossoming, those guys being able to perform at such a high level. The addition of Dennis Schroeder in the backcourt, that gives LeBron a lot more ability to not have to do so much. But then tonight, you saw in that third quarter, he kind of starts to turn it on and take control of that game and really started to impose his will and the team's will against the Grizzlies.
James, you gave some love to Montrezl Harrell. He went for 16 and 9 off the bench. He's with Mike Trudell.
For the Lakers, and you really got things going, end up a plus 12, second only to LeBron. How important?
I'm a star, shining brightest in the darkest times. I'm a star, twinkle, twinkle, I bring the sparkle in. Light your world up. Yeah, let your